right, and welcome to the TSG Multimedia podcast for September 1st, 2012. This is John sitting along with
Dan,
as usual, and I've got to say, Dan, the opening shots of podcasts have shown some strange things. What the hell is this?
Well,
I mean, really, what is this?
I thought from now on we'd stop talking about trains and start talking about hose fittings.
Okay.
I can't say that. Let me say
No,
that.
I mean, I'm looking at this just like, what does this have to do with a train?
Okay, well,
What is this?
these are actually little fittings from carpet cleaning machines because,
Carpet cleaning machines?
yeah.
Okay, we really have talked about everything on our podcast now.
Okay,
Wow.
there's a method to my madness here. What this is some years ago I had about a year or two stint in the carpet cleaning machine rental business, and it turned out to be a really bad business venture, and we ended up closing it down. And we liquidated the equipment and got rid of like the machines and chemicals and things like that. But I was left with a lot of stuff like this.
Right now I'm thinking you must have been drinking the chemicals.
No. We sold most of that stuff, but you end up with little bins full of little parts like this, and it's like, what do you do with it?
Recycler comes to mind.
Yeah, well, you could recycle, and that's probably the only thing. I mean, I don't think you could really sell them.
They look like brass fittings, right?
They are brass.
Oh, okay.
They are brass.
Well, you might be able to get something for it.
Maybe, but actually, I had this idea because these are actually fairly hefty.
Yeah.
They weigh like I think one of these I weighed, it was just under 2 ounces.
Oh, well, brass is a fairly dense metal, so...
Right. So I got me thinking, a lot of times I buy these little strip weights for train cars.
I see where this is going now. It's starting to make sense.
But this costs money. There's nothing wrong with these, but you have to buy them. This was free.
Right.
So, I've actually used these, and these come apart, so if you don't need as much weight, you can just use a piece of it.
Oh,
But
okay, that's kind of handy.
obviously not with like a flat car or something that's going to be exposed, but if you have an enclosed car like a box car, you glue one of these to the floor, and it's got a lot of nice weight to it now. So, and I realize not everybody is going to have carpet machine fittings, but you might have something.
I thought
Is the
maybe you were
point?
trying to start a cottage industry.
No.
Order your carpet machine fittings from Dan on eBay.
Yeah, no. I don't think I have enough of these left to do that anyway. But I'm saying that you might have something laying around, if you've, parts of who knows what.
How about washers? You could use little metal washers.
You could use
something,
washers,
right?
yeah, you could. I don't. It depends on how much they weigh,
Yeah.
Sometimes but yeah, I mean, anything really. It's all just weight, and once it's in the train car, no one's going to know what it is.
Right.
So anyway, I thought I'd do my tip of the month since we didn't really get to the tip of the month last time. So that's my tip of the month, is to just use any old stuff you can find as freight car weights.
All right. Well, maybe we should move on to the other part of the podcast where you show some train stuff.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Now that looks like something train related. It almost looks like something race related. Like, you got a racing train, or is it an old SP thing?
It's an old SP thing.
Okay. I thought I recognized that look.
Yeah, this is actually a work in progress, GP35R, that I'm painting in the ill-fated SPSF merger scheme. Mm-hmm. That's not finished yet. I got the red and the yellow on it, but it still needs the black on the top.
Yeah.
So, but what I wanted to talk about was masking, because masking a war bonnet or any complicated schemes can sometimes seem a little bit daunting. But if you can break it down into component shapes, it becomes a little easier. So one of the things I used is Microscale sells this sheet of war bonnet decals, which I've never actually used as decals, but these are great patterns. Okay, and what I found out, and I think I saw this in a Santa Fe lettering diagram, is that basically all these things are just circles and straight lines. So you've got this little half circle here, and then you've got straight lines, and then you've got, this is a piece of a circle here, and then this is a piece of a circle here. So you've got this really small circle, you've got kind of a medium-sized circle, and then you've got a larger circle. And if you put all these arcs together and connect them with straight lines, you end up with a war bonnet.
Huh.
So what I figured out is, to cut masking tape, you can use a circle template, like you use for drawing. And that's what I'm going to do. So in my model, I've already done the bottom part, but on the top part I need to remask it where the black is going to go. And it looks like this circle here is a pretty close match for the decal. So I'm going to use this one as a pattern. This says 2 on it. I guess that means 2 inches. Anyway, that should be a good approximation. Alright, so what I've done is I have a piece of glass here, and I've put a piece of blue painter's tape on the glass because it's a good cutting surface. It won't hurt the knife, and the knife won't cut the glass, and also it won't take the stickiness off the tape.
Seems like it would make a cleaner line too, right?
Yeah, it makes a nice clean line, and that's what you want. So I'm holding the template down so that it doesn't move, and then I've got a brand new extremely sharp X-Acto blade here, and I'm gonna just cut along the edge. You want to do this carefully so you don't cut the circle template.
I could see myself doing that.
Yeah, but if you want to make a second pass, it shouldn't take more than 1 or 2 cuts.
That's going to be a really clean, crisp semicircle there. That's nice.
Yeah, it should come out pretty nice. Alright, so in this case, since I've already painted this part, I only need to worry about the black, and actually on this engine the black only comes down about right here where the dynamic brake area is. So I'm just going to apply this tape right here. Just try to position it so that it matches the line that's already there. Oops.
Oh, I see. So you're kind of going to make the black butt up to the yellow? Is that what it is?
The black will cover the red in this top part only. Right. Okay.
You know, it's funny, that is kind of a complex paint scheme. I'm surprised they did something that, ambitious or difficult. You know what I mean? Like, why not just like original SP? It was basically gray, right?
Yeah.
A bunch of dirt and a red nose.
Yeah.
I don't think they added the dirt, though, on purpose. I always noticed when I was a kid, though, when I'd see SP, they were always just grungy, dirty. Like, if you looked at it, it looked like you'd have to take a shower,
Yeah. Well, anyway, you get the idea.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to trim. Obviously, there's a little too much tape here, so I got to trim this. But the point of this is that once you figured out how to do the complicated areas, the rest of it is just straight lines, so you can just use little bits of tape between those.
Yeah.
And the only other thing I'll say about masking is just to make sure that you use your fingernail and get it as close to the model surface as possible.
Could you use something like a really dull blade, maybe?
I wouldn't use a blade. You could use like a piece of wood, maybe like a toothpick, or something that won't scratch it.
Yeah.
Is basically what you want. The other thing about painting, I'll say, is you want to paint very light coats, because the light coat will dry almost the instant it hits the model, and dry paint won't creep under the tape. But if you let the paint build up and become wet, it can actually get sucked under the tape, and it'll make the finish look really bad.
Right.
So, and then anyway, on the rest of this, then it would just be a matter of like putting a line across. This piece of tape isn't straight, but you can see the idea would be to put, this is approximately where the black starts, and it would just continue down the back like that. So, anyway, it's just a way to use a circle template.
That's pretty cool, because I'm not sure that I would have thought to. I mean, the way you described it makes sense. They look like circles, So you just have to figure out what size of circle, cut a mask. I mean, the way you described it makes it sound really easy,
Yeah,
So,
well, it is.
which
Usually if you just break stuff down into, and I realize not everybody's modeling Santa Fe or the SPSF scheme, but with any paint scheme, a lot of them were just made up of those kinds of shapes, circles and straight lines. So you can just if you figure out, you can break it down. Yeah, it becomes simpler.
The whole point is just to apply the concept to whatever you're doing.
Right.
You could even make some really neat custom ones for your own sort of.
If you're freelancing,
fictitious short line or something. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Well, I guess that'll do it for this video podcast. Just remember, if you have any questions, to email them to us. Don't post them as, little questions under the YouTube video. And keep in mind also that we have an audio podcast that comes out the 15th of every month. And we also have a Facebook presence as well. So you may want to go on there and like us, or encourage your friends to like us. There's a lot of content on there.
Hopefully people like us.
Well,
why would they watch if they didn't, right?
Yeah, I guess, So, anyway, we'll be back next month with another video podcast, and we'll see you then. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks.